When everything seemed to be stacked against me, I clung to a simple question: if not now, when? If not me, who? This thought fueled me. Even when no one believed in me or my ideas. Many people thought the concept of e-commerce in China was impossible, but I saw a future filled with digital possibilities. I didn't need anyone's approval to believe in my path. My vision for what the world could become was my motivation. With each rejection, I realized that those no's were like the roots of a tree. The deeper they went, the stronger the tree grew. These weren't just failures, they were preparing me day by day to build what Alibaba would eventually become. Growth requires making mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward. Trust me, it's in those quiet moments of rejection that we find the courage to take the next step. One thing has always struck me: people's fascination with success stories. They look at great achievements and assume the journey was smooth without setbacks or hardship. But what they fail to realize is that the deepest lessons come from mistakes, difficulties, and failures. Those moments taught me far more than any victory ever could. Every mistake was a manual, revealing paths we hadn't explored yet and uncovering the true essence of building something meaningful. From the very beginning, failure was a daily part of our routine at Alibaba. We faced a lack of resources, infrastructure issues, and skepticism from almost everyone. These barriers became lessons on what entrepreneurship truly is. It's about falling, getting back up, adjusting your direction, and persevering. Success didn't guide us, the tough lessons did. What once seemed impossible became another chapter of growth, and each struggle strengthened our adaptability. One of the greatest takeaways was learning to see failure as an ally, not an enemy. There's no need to shy away from mistakes. They're the steps that lift us to new levels. Failure taught me that no one truly learns without making mistakes, and the key lies in using each setback as a chance to adjust. The business world isn't a straight path, it's more like a spiral, where each turn brings a deeper level of understanding and preparation. This constant learning didn't just transform Alibaba, it transformed me. It wasn't about creating a successful company, it was about learning from every mistake to build something greater. Failure and learning weren't just phases at the start, they became a strategy. Embracing this approach makes the journey richer and growth inevitable. While success stories may inspire, it's the learning stories that build the character and resilience needed to continue. No matter what obstacles lie ahead. When I started Alibaba, few believed in my vision for the future. Most people, even in my own country, thought the idea of e-commerce was unrealistic. The internet was seen as a passing fad, something destined to fail. But I saw potential where others only sought out. While many were content to stick with what was already known, I believed something new had to be created. Early on, I learned that the real difference between success and failure lies in persistence. With every step, new challenges emerged, and often there were more obstacles than solutions. But for us, persistence was never a choice. It was a necessity. It became the force that separated those who gave up from those who went further. Every hurdle on our journey was a reminder that success isn't about avoiding difficulties, it's about finding ways to push past them. The rejections were countless. Investors laughed at our idea, big companies ignored our business model, and they told us we didn't have what it took to compete. Many tried to convince me to quit, but something kept me going: purpose. I knew the journey would be tough and that persistence would be our guide. Over time, resilience became a powerful differentiator, transforming obstacles into steps forward. Looking back, I see Alibaba as proof of what persistence can accomplish. It wasn't just about being relentless, it was about trusting that if we stayed strong, every effort would pay off. That conviction was our foundation, not just a hope, but a firm decision to build something meaningful no matter what. Persistence isn't about simply moving forward. It's about realizing that each effort is a crucial piece of a much larger vision. In time, persistence became our greatest asset. It kept us resilient and adaptable while many others gave up at the first sign of failure. This is the essence of Alibaba and of any entrepreneurial journey: finding the strength to continue, even when the odds seem impossible. Persistence was the difference between attempting and achieving, between a dream and reality. I have a favorite quote from the movie Forrest Gump: "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get." That line is simple, yet it's filled with meaning, reminding me to always keep faith in the unknown. I connected with Forrest, a character who approached life with humility and resilience, pushing forward even when the path wasn't clear. Like Forrest, I learned that life is unpredictable, and sometimes the only way to achieve success is to keep running, to keep moving forward no matter what. When I faced challenges that seemed insurmountable, I held on to the belief that persistence and a simple dream could get me through. I didn't have all the answers or know what the future held, but like Forrest, I believed that if I took things One step at a time, something good would eventually happen. The journey was filled with uncertainties. Yet this approach helped me discover unexpected opportunities that later defined Alibaba. The world around us often insists on plans, certainties, and control, but life, and especially business, doesn't work that way. Forced simplicity was a powerful reminder that overthinking can be the biggest obstacle of all. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, sometimes the answer is simply to start, even if you don't know where the road will lead. In the early days of Alibaba, we had no money, no technology, and no clear direction. But we had dreams. And that belief, that simple faith that something good could come from our actions, kept us moving. Like Forrest, we just kept running, pushing forward, building our vision one small step at a time. Today, I often share this philosophy with young entrepreneurs. You may not know what's ahead, but if you keep your heart and mind open and keep moving forward, great things can happen. Sometimes life's box of chocolates holds the most amazing surprises, ones you could never have predicted from the beginning. I believed that where there are complaints, there are opportunities. Whenever people expressed frustrations about a service or product, I saw it as an invitation to innovate. It may sound strange, but complaints were my source of inspiration. Problems, after all, are what drive change. Every time I heard a complaint, I thought, this is something we can improve, something we can solve. Seeing every frustration as a business opportunity has been one of Alibaba's guiding principles. I encourage my team to look at complaints as a map of what people truly need. When you listen carefully, you realize that complaints reveal the gaps in the market. Most people avoid complaints or see them as a hassle, but I saw them as direct feedback from our future customers. This approach became a cornerstone of Alibaba's culture to be attentive to needs that others overlooked. At Alibaba, we realized early on that focusing on complaints was a way to build a company that truly mattered. Most businesses focus on pleasing shareholders or maintaining the status quo, but we focused on solving real issues. Complaints were like signals, pointing us to where we could make the most impact. If people were unhappy with a certain service or product, we made it our mission to create something better. This focus gave us a competitive edge as we continuously adapted to meet real demands. Many underestimate the power of addressing complaints, but I see it as a treasure trove of ideas. When people speak up about what's wrong, they're giving you insights into what they truly want. Embracing these insights allowed us to create solutions that not only met but exceeded expectations. The mindset of seeing complaints as opportunities shaped Alibaba's growth and its ability to stand out in a crowded market. Listening to complaints is more than just customer service. It's an active strategy. By addressing what bothers people most, we turned complaints into new ideas, new services, and new standards for excellence. This approach wasn't just about fixing problems, it was about creating a brand that people could trust to listen, adapt, and innovate. In my experience, one of the most distinct differences between large and small businesses is how they view their purpose. Small businesses often start with big dreams. They want to change something, to bring value, to make a difference. They are driven by purpose, not just by performance metrics. Large corporations, on the other hand, can become so focused on key performance indicators, KPIs, and numbers that they lose sight of their original mission. I realized that to keep a company vibrant and full of spirit, it has to hold on to that initial purpose even as it grows. In the early days of Alibaba, we were a small team with huge aspiration. We didn't have money, technology, or a clear path. All we had was a shared dream to help small businesses and to bring opportunity to everyone through the internet. That dream kept us moving forward despite the endless challenges. It was that same small business mindset that allowed us to be nimble, creative, and resilient in the face of obstacles. Our dream was bigger than any KPI or financial report. Even as we grew, I encouraged my team to think like a small business, to stay grounded and purpose-driven. I often said that if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. For us, this meant adapting to challenges without losing sight of what truly mattered. Keeping that sense of purpose, that original spirit, gave us the strength to innovate and adapt no matter how much we expanded. This philosophy taught me that growth doesn't mean you have to lose your original vision. On the contrary, a company should hold onto its dreams and aspiration because that's what makes it truly valuable. The bigger a company gets, the more it needs to remember why it started in the first place. Purpose drives innovation. It creates passion, and passion, more than any metric, is what propels a business forward. So, whether you're a large company or a small startup, the lesson is the same: never forget why you started. Purpose is not only the foundation of success, it's the guiding light that keeps a company on track even as it grows and faces new challenges. This principle is what kept Alibaba grounded no matter how large we became. In business, we often try to change external factors, thinking that if we just adjust the situation around us, we'll find success. But I've come to understand that true progress comes when we focus on changing ourselves. I use a metaphor often: if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. That means building resilience, developing new skills, and strengthening our mindset so that we can navigate any challenge that comes our way. Throughout my journey, I found that adapting and evolving personally was the key to reaching my goals. When Alibaba faced challenges, I realized that the solution often lay within my own capacity to grow. Focusing on personal development meant learning from mistakes, continuously improving, and not being afraid to confront my weaknesses. It wasn't easy, but it was essential. Changing myself allowed me to lead the company through obstacles I never anticipated. Growth is a continuous journey. Sometimes we get so focused on reaching a specific target or achieving a certain milestone that we forget the importance of who we are becoming along the way. I believe that if we focus on our own growth, everything else will fall into place. Goals are important, but building the strength and awareness to achieve those goals is what truly makes them attainable. The power of a shared dream. When we first started Alibaba, there were 18 of us in a tiny apartment. We had no money, no technology, and few resources. What we did have was a collective dream to connect small businesses to a global market. Through the power of the internet, we believed that if we could achieve this, we could change the world for the better. That shared belief kept us going through every difficulty and became the foundation of our success. A shared dream is like a magnet. It attracts people who believe in the same vision. I realized early on that a company's strength doesn't come from one individual's vision alone, but from a team that believes in something larger than themselves. Our dream wasn't just about building a company, it was about empowering people, giving a voice to those who had none, and making a positive impact. This collective purpose is what helped Alibaba grow into a movement, not just a business. Having a shared dream creates unity and resilience when faced with challenges. We could lean on each other because we all knew why we were there. Our motivation went beyond financial success. It was about realizing a vision that inspired all of us. This unity made us unstoppable because no matter what happened, our dream remained intact, guiding us forward. Believing in a collective dream also taught me the power of purpose. When you have a purpose that resonates with everyone involved, it becomes easier to face hardships. The dream gives strength to each person, and that strength is multiplied across the whole team. Purpose is contagious, and when people believe in it, they are willing to work harder, endure more, and go further. To this day, I emphasize the importance of believing in something greater than yourself. If you have a dream that others can share in, you will find that they become not just employees or partners, but true allies. That shared vision transforms companies into communities, making them capable of achieving things beyond what any individual could accomplish alone. Building what was missing in the early days of Alibaba, there was no infrastructure. China was just starting to explore the internet, and we faced a reality where basic systems for e-commerce simply didn't exist. There were no digital payment systems, logistics were limited, and technology was scarce. But instead of seeing these as reasons to stop, I saw them as challenges to solve. If something was missing, we would build it ourselves. That was the mindset that drove us forward. I remember those early days vividly. We realized that if we wanted e-commerce to thrive in China, we couldn't wait for the right conditions to appear. We had to create them. We developed our own payment systems, logistics networks, and customer service models. Every gap in the system became an opportunity for innovation. Instead of viewing problems as obstacles, we saw them as building blocks for something new. This approach shaped Alibaba's entire culture. We weren't just responding to market demands. We were actively creating solutions that didn't yet exist. Building what was missing allowed us to set new standards and redefine the market. We learned that being pioneers meant not only adapting to the environment but also shaping it. Each innovation was a step toward a vision that no one else could yet see. Over time, this mindset became central to our philosophy. We weren't just building a business, we were building an ecosystem. Our commitment to filling these gaps turned Alibaba into a leader in the industry. By addressing what was missing, we not only overcame limitations but also expanded the possibilities for millions of others. We built a foundation on which countless businesses and entrepreneurs could grow. Building what's missing isn't about simply solving problems. It's about seeing the future and having the courage to create it. That's what Alibaba stands for. The belief that if you don't see what you need, you can be the one to bring it into existence. The heartbeat of the future. Young people and small businesses have always believed that young people and small businesses are the heartbeat of the future. When we started Alibaba, we were just a small group of dreamers with no money, no technology, and no connections, but what we had was an ambition to make a difference. Young people bring fresh ideas, energy, and courage that can challenge the status quo and inspire change. Small businesses, similarly, are driven by purpose, passion, and a desire to improve their communities. Together, they are capable of creating remarkable change for young people. The world today offers unprecedented opportunities. When I was young, the internet was a luxury and resources were scarce. Today, technology and knowledge are at their fingertips. This is why I encourage young entrepreneurs to use every tool available to them to create, innovate, and think big. Small businesses and young entrepreneurs are not bound by tradition. They have the freedom to experiment and redefine what is possible. This freedom is where real growth happens. I often tell young entrepreneurs that they are the pioneers of tomorrow. Many of the challenges we face in the world today will be solved by young people who are willing to take risks, think differently, and persevere through challenges. They may not have the resources of large corporations, but they have something even more powerful: the drive to make a difference. In today's world, you don't need to be a big company to create impact. You just need to have a big vision. Small businesses are also the backbone of our economy. They create jobs, support families, and strengthen communities. When we empower small businesses, we empower entire regions. At Alibaba, our goal has always been to support these businesses by giving them access to global markets and helping them grow. We believe that by empowering small businesses, we're creating a foundation for a strong and sustainable future. Young people and small businesses represent the spirit of entrepreneurship. They remind us that innovation doesn't come from having everything figured out. It comes from the courage to try, to fail, and to try again. When I look at the world today, I see endless potential, and I'm confident that the future belongs to those who embrace their dreams and pursue them with everything. They have got the power of focused ambition since the beginning. I have always believed in the power of a clear vision. When we started Alibaba, I was fascinated by the possibilities of the internet and e-commerce. It wasn't just about building a business, it was about creating a new way for people to connect, communicate, and trade. But dreaming big is only the first step. The real challenge is to stay focused on that dream and not get distracted along the way. Success, I've learned, comes from maintaining a relentless focus on your vision. Even as the world around you changes. In business, distractions are everywhere. As Alibaba grew, we faced countless opportunities and challenges that could have led us off course. But I made a commitment to myself and to my team. We would not lose sight of our original mission. Staying focused meant saying no to certain things, even if they looked promising in the short term. We didn't just want to grow, we wanted to grow in the right direction. This focus kept us grounded and ensured that our efforts were always aligned with our long-term vision. Dreaming big is essential, but without focus, a dream can quickly lose its way. I often tell entrepreneurs that chasing too many things at once is a sure path to failure. You need to be clear about what you want to achieve and then dedicate yourself fully to that goal. At Alibaba, we learned to prioritize our actions based on our core mission. Every decision, every project was evaluated in terms of how it contributed to that larger purpose. This focus became our compass. With every new opportunity, I reminded myself of our commitment to our vision. It's easy to get excited by new possibilities, but staying true to your dream requires discipline. I believe that focus is what transforms an idea into reality and what allows a small dream to grow into something life-changing. It's about staying consistent even when things get tough and keeping your eye on the horizon no matter the obstacles. Today, Alibaba stands as proof of what's possible when you dream big and stay focused. We didn't achieve everything we set out to do overnight. It was a journey filled with challenges, distractions, and tough decisions. But by holding on to our vision and focusing on our purpose, we turned a simple dream into a global movement. That's the power of focused ambition. Turning pain into purpose. The journey to success is rarely easy, and the road is often filled with pain, setbacks, and disappointments. In my journey, I faced countless rejections and failures, but instead of letting them defeat me, I used them as fuel to keep moving forward. Each rejection, each painful experience, became a source of motivation. Rather than asking why me, I chose to ask, how can I use this to grow? This mindset is what turned obstacles into opportunities and kept me going. Even when the future seemed uncertain, pain can be a powerful motivator if we learn to channel it. Instead of letting it pull us down, we can use it to push ourselves further. Each time I was rejected or told that my ideas wouldn't work, I felt a renewed determination to prove myself. This was especially true in the early days of Alibaba when no one believed in our vision. It hurt to face such skepticism, but that pain gave me the drive to work even harder. Turning pain into motivation became a way to build resilience and mental strength. Looking back, I see that the pain was an essential part of the process. Without it, I wouldn't have developed the persistence needed to build Alibaba. Each setback was like a test, challenging me to see if I had what it took to keep going, and each time I passed that test, I grew stronger and more determined. Pain, I realized, was not my enemy, it was my teacher. It taught me the importance of inner strength and the power of resilience. When you channel your pain into motivation, you gain a new perspective on success. It's no longer about avoiding difficulties, but about overcoming them. This mindset shift is powerful because it transforms you into someone who sees every obstacle as a chance to grow. At Alibaba, we faced countless challenges, but by turning our pain into motivation, we turned those challenges into milestones on our journey. For every entrepreneur, pain will be part of the journey. But remember, it's not the pain itself that defines you, it's how you respond to it. Turn that pain into purpose, use it as fuel, and let it guide you towards something bigger. Pain, when embraced, can be the catalyst that drives you to reach heights you never thought possible. Perseverance, building a legacy. Perseverance isn't just a personal trait. It has the power to create change on a larger scale. When I look at Alibaba's journey, I see how our commitment to persevere not only transformed our company, but also impacted millions of people worldwide. Perseverance allowed us to stay resilient in the face of every challenge, and it's this resilience that made Alibaba what it is today. By refusing to give up, we built something that didn't just serve us, but benefited countless others, from small business owners to everyday consumers. When we started Alibaba, the vision was simple: to help small businesses thrive in a digital world. But achieving that vision required a relentless determination to overcome obstacles. It wasn't just about surviving as a company. It was about creating something that would have a lasting impact. This is the power of perseverance. It enables you to build things that matter, things that outlast you. Every time we pushed through a challenge, we strengthened our ability to make a difference. Perseverance has a ripple effect. When people see others facing challenges and refusing to give up, it inspires them to do the same. At Alibaba, I wanted to create a culture of resilience where people understood that setbacks are part of the journey. This approach not only shaped our team but also influenced the entrepreneurs who used our platform. By showing what's possible through perseverance, we encouraged others to believe in their own dreams and to keep pushing forward. Throughout our journey, perseverance became a message we shared with the world. It was our way of saying that success isn't reserved for the privileged or the lucky. It's available to anyone who's willing to work for it, to endure, and to persist. This message resonated with people from all walks of life and helped Alibaba become more than just a business. It became a symbol of what's possible when you refuse to quit. Perseverance, I believe, is one of the most powerful forces for change. It gives you the courage to start, the resilience to keep going, and the strength to finish. When you persevere, you're not just building a business. You're building a legacy that can inspire others and create positive change in the world. That's the true impact of persistence. Embracing failure for growth. Failure has been a constant companion in my journey, and I've learned to embrace it rather than run from it. When I was starting out, fear of failure was overwhelming. Each rejection and each obstacle felt like a dead end, but over time, I realized that failure isn't the end, it's a teacher. Failing is part of learning, and every mistake reveals something new about what works, what doesn't, and where to improve. Instead of fearing failure, I began to see it as a necessary step in achieving my vision. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that avoiding failure often leads to missed opportunities. In business, if you're not willing to take risks, you'll never grow. Early in Alibaba's development, we took countless risks that many thought were foolish, but each one taught us valuable lessons. By accepting failure as part of the process, we were able to adapt, refine our strategies, and continue growing. Failure may be painful, but it's far more painful to look back and realize you didn't try at all. Facing failure head-on builds resilience. After being rejected multiple times for university, for jobs, and even from investors, I became more determined rather than discouraged. Each failure gave me a new perspective and an inner strength that I wouldn't have developed otherwise. Accepting that failure is inevitable opened the door to innovation, to finding solutions, and embracing new approaches. The only real failure I've found is the one that stops you from moving forward. Failure also taught me to be humble. It's easy to get caught up in success, but failure reminds us that there is always more to learn and room to improve. When you accept failure as part of the journey, you become more adaptable, more willing to listen, and better equipped to face the unexpected. At Alibaba, we fostered a culture where failure was seen not as a weakness but as an opportunity for growth. This culture of resilience allowed us to try new things, experiment, and innovate. Ultimately, facing the fear of failure is what drives progress. It's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Embracing failure taught me that every setback is a stepping stone, and that success isn't defined by how many times you fall, but by how many times you get back up. In the end, it's the courage to confront failure that transforms dreams into reality. The guiding light of purpose. Looking back on Alibaba's journey, I see that our success wasn't just a result of business strategies. It was driven by a strong sense of purpose. From the beginning, we wanted to create something meaningful, a platform that could empower small businesses, support communities, and drive positive change. Purpose has been the anchor that guided our decisions, kept us focused, and inspired us to continue even when the journey was difficult. When you work with purpose, every challenge becomes a stepping stone towards something greater. Purpose goes beyond profit. It's about making a difference. At Alibaba, we prioritized our customers, our employees, and our mission over shareholder profits. I often told my team, clients come first, employees second, and shareholders third. This approach wasn't popular among investors, but it was essential to building a business that truly mattered. By focusing on the people we served rather than just financial success, we were able to create a brand that people trusted and believed in. Working with purpose also helped us stay resilient. When you're driven by something bigger than yourself, setbacks don't stop you, they motivate you to push even harder. Purpose became the fuel that carried us through difficult times. When things went wrong, we reminded ourselves of our mission to empower people and connect communities. This sense of purpose made every obstacle seem surmountable and every success feel meaningful. Purpose isn't just a business philosophy, it's a way of life. I believe that when you pursue something with meaning, success becomes a natural byproduct. Purpose gives you the resilience to keep going, the creativity to innovate, and the strength to overcome obstacles. This mindset has shaped not only Alibaba but also how I approach life. I've learned that fulfillment doesn't come from what you achieve, but from knowing you're making a difference. Today, as I look toward the future, I'm inspired by the potential of purpose-driven businesses and individuals to create lasting change. Whether you're building a company, pursuing a career, or simply seeking personal growth, remember that a sense of purpose will guide you, sustain you, and help you build a legacy that endures. Purpose is not just a goal, it's a compass that points you toward a future worth creating. Jack Ma's journey is a powerful story of resilience, vision, and an indomitable spirit. In this inspiring talk, he shared a wealth of hard-earned lessons, turning pain and rejection into relentless motivation and success. By reflecting on the countless rejections he faced in his early life, from university to jobs and even KFC, he reveals how each no became a crucial stepping stone